of men aged 18 to 24 have never approached a woman in person in their life, and like even a higher percentage, 18 to 30, haven't approached a woman in the last year.
I have a slightly weird take on this, which is that actually the thing you hear about as sort of the thing that Gen X people talk about of going up to someone in a bar and this being a way of striking up relationships, I think that was a very brief period of history, sort of post-sexual revolution but pre-internet, where that was considered normal. The normal way, actually, that people start relationships in the vast majority of cultures is to be like, it is like semi-arranged marriage, right? Like, not the full, you've never met this person before, you know, 13-year-olds, whatever, getting betrothed, like, not like that, but the sort of, you're introduced by family members, mutual friends, you're known in the community, you go to the same church, whatever it is, and then both of your families like consent to the marriage, and it works out okay.
Okay, the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because I thought it was something interesting, because I'm old enough to remember this. There was this time period between the beginning of the sexual revolution and the beginning of social media where guys went up to bars and went up to women in bars and talked to them.
Did they?
Right, they did. And they did this for about, but the thing is, what she's pointed out was really interesting, is that throughout human history, it's this small 50-year period, and then that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Before that, there was like a lot of arranged marriages where you just married someone that was in your tribe. And now, with social media, the number of people that you see, like, so it's so funny because we keep talking about this approach culture and how it's gone, but I think it's just this it's really interesting the way she explains it, like from an evolutionary standpoint. It's just this small period of time where guys could go up and talk to women at a bar and weren't shamed for it. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was going to say, Gen X, this guy.
Yeah.
Well, like, when was the last time any of you
it.
guys were approached by a guy at a bar?
Rihanna?
All the time. But to be honest, it actually, so when it comes to like people and what is it called, evolution, right? There's a direct link between what I would call that a sweet spot.
Yes.
So they actually they talked about this with Sex in the City. When a man feels like they really want to give their all and do what they want to do, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like a midlife crisis sort of thing, but instead of evicting the normalcy, they want to jump head into it. They want to be involved. They want to talk about it. They want to make compromises. That is a sweet spot.
Right. Well,
I've only been approached to a bar my whole life once.
Riley, you got to talk to the microphone.
Okay, so my bad, people. So I've only, my whole freaking life, I've only been approached to the bar one time, and I've like notoriously known for being out almost every night of the fucking week, and like people are scared to come up and talk to me. I don't know.
I'm scared now. I totally understand.
But I'm so kind. What do you mean?
I've known her for over 10 years, and I'm still scared.
Yes, you understand.
There's an art.
So when you say a sweet spot, I just want you to consider, like, let's just say maybe the baby boomer generation from that point forward going to a bar and meeting a girl, that wasn't something that quite big in the 20s and 30s. And then once we get to the 50s, from the 1950s all the way up, like you mentioned Sex in the City, that show would not have happened had there been social media. Because the point of the show was they were meeting people at speed dating places or different places in Manhattan, and that wouldn't have happened before. They would have the dating apps would have taken over. So
speed dating needs to come back.
The point is well, no, it is speed dating. Speed dating is now called Hinge. It's called Tinder.
I don't do dating.
That's what speed dating is.
You cannot find me on the internet to date me.
I'm banned from Tinder.
Because did you try to get anybody to go down your OF?
No, I really wasn't.
Okay, because that's usually why they ban people.
No, I was looking for love.
Okay. All right, so just the point is, like, here's the other issue. We're never going back. Right, we're not getting rid of social media. Social media will become more pervasive. They're going to put chips in your fucking head. They're going to put you're going to be able to see the screens on your glasses here pretty soon. We're only going in one direction.
What is the difference between social media and neighborhoods?
What do you mean?
Back in the day.
Well, social media is 100,000x bigger.
Face-to-face meetings.
Small towns.
You can be a keyboard warrior.
If you live in a small town and you do something, everyone knows about it.
But do you know your neighbors now?
Oh yeah.
She tries.
Yeah.
We used to be roommates like multiple
No, I know
times.
all
So
of
do you
my
know- so do you know your neighbors?
Any of my neighbors.
I don't know any of my
You remember
neighbors.
that you told me
I don't know the name of a single person on my floor, except my neighbor is one in my sales team. But other than that, I don't know anybody on my floor.
We live completely different lifestyles. We're
And when I was
getting home,
I
and
don't
they're
want to
getting
talk
out.
to
Yeah,
them.
but here's the thing. I'm just curious. When we were growing up, I remember all of my neighbors when I was growing up in 1980 in Dallas, Texas. I remember every single.
now.
All of them.
Every single person on my block.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Okay, Rihanna.
So you don't know any of your neighbors. When is the last time that you have gone to the grocery store to make like some cornbread or like some banana pudding? You know what the fuck?
I think that's culturally inappropriate to say cornbread. Isn't that right? It's like a racist. You can't say cornbread anymore.
Excuse me.
I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you. I'm kidding.
I'm the only one allowed to say it. I eat cornbread and collard greens. Okay.
But you mean
But no.
I think collard greens is a slur, isn't it? I don't think we can say that anymore. I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you.
Hold up.
Rihanna, go.
On some real stuff. When is the last time you've gone to your neighbor and asked for a cup of sugar or an egg?
No one does
Never.
When I
That's
was like
crazy.
22.
Y'all need to get outside.
And then I stopped doing that.
No,
I didn't
like
want to
even when I'm coming in and out my building that I live in, I barely even see anybody.
Your neighbor is your best friend.
I think it kind of depends on where you're at.
Your neighbor is your best friend.
HOA on you.
Remember that time
It does. It does.
That wasn't my neighbor. That wasn't my neighbor. That wasn't my
He kicked
neighbor.
in our front door and she fought him.
Anyway, yeah,
So,
look naked.
quite honestly, I'll tell you what's weird is I am exactly in the demographic that she was talking about. And I'll tell you the strange thing about this is there's never been a time in my life where I haven't thought that was the normal way of actually like going up and meeting. Like when I'm talking to guys or like if people are reading my books or whatever and they're asking me questions and stuff, it's really kind of I have to sort of keep myself up with like, you know, Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, all the things that are like going on right now because I mean the technology advances, right? But I'm from that era where it's if you're going to go and you're going to relate to a woman, if you're going to learn what works for you, you've got to go do it live in fucking real time. And you got to take that you got to take those rejections like right on the chin. But I'll tell you what's weird. What's weird to me is like prior to the sexual revolution, none of that was normal for anyone until like maybe like I don't know what 1975 and Studio 54 and all other shit that was going on back then. And then through the 80s. Like when I was growing up, I graduated high school in 1986, right? So like during the mid 80s, casual sex was just something that people were talking about. That we just understood it as that's the way it was supposed to be, right?
Yes.
And so then you get into the early 90s and everything else, and you learn what worked for you. If you wanted to go and meet women, you had to go where the women were. You couldn't just go find them online. There was no cell phones. There was no nothing, and you had to do it live in real. And it was, it was tough. It was. I don't. You know, what's interesting is I never really realized how tough that could be for guys, especially now, because most men just simply aren't approaching. Period. Whatsoever. That's what she was talking about. Is
really
those
scary.
the Gen Zers are not approaching because they have a buffer, and that buffer is their cell phone.
So here's two things. Number one, they're not approaching, but number two. I don't know if you guys remember. Most of you probably don't. But before 2006, I would go to a bar, and you know what I'd see at a bar? Beautiful women everywhere. And that stopped happening. If anybody went to I'm not going to say the names, but if any of you guys were at any of the strip clubs in this city prior to 2011, it was like the fucking Playboy Mansion. And it's not like that anymore because OF has pulled those girls, not all of them, but a lot of girls still like dancing. But the girls who didn't want to dance, who wanted to stay at home with their wife and their husband and kids and just do their work on OF, they got pulled out of the strip clubs. And so, and then before that whole revolution, you guys are never going to believe this, but the hottest girls used to work at Hooters and Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
but I know some of you are like, that's not possible. Yes, I'm talking about 1995.
Yes.
Like they used to work there.
I was born in 95.
Yeah, so like that, it was very different.
Can I say something funny about Hooters? Okay, so one time, like I was born in
into the microphone.
I was born in 95, and like I idolized Hooters growing up. But, like I was like 15, and like snuck to like one of the restaurants that I'd never even been in because my family was like really conservative, and I like bought the outfit that they like had the servers wear, and I wore it to the mall with my mom, and she left me at the mall and left with my little sister. She was like, "You look like a fucking hooker," and she left, and I was just like appalled because I'm like, these girls wear this to work. Like a dude made this. I was 15 years old, and my mom, she couldn't even stand to be seen next to me.
But where did you buy it?
At Hooters.
I get
I
it.
almost
though.
said hookers. But
He bought it from
Hooters.
Hooters.
If you know
Yes,
your
you can
mom was
buy their
conservative and she was
clothes.
doing
You
all
can
that other
still
stuff,
do
you was
today.
pushing.
You can go to
Okay,
like
my
any
mom
of
will.
the,
She will.
literally they say
Okay,
the name
I
of the
ain't
city
playing
you're
with
in,
that.
and you can buy
sorry,
like
no.
the little red or orange shorts or the black shorts. I have it in every color now at this point.
So the girls at Hooters inspire you to wear it? The
I
outfit?
mean, I wasn't gonna go be a server because I have impatience level 0.
Yeah, we
I
can
love
see.
the
Can
wings.
somebody get Riley a sedative? Can we do that? Is that possible? Let's tune it down just a little.
Valium.
I know.
No, you cannot. Let's do this. Can we do the next video? Let's
Wait,
go.
I gotta ask Danny.
Go ahead, Danny.
When's the last time a guy came up to you in a bar and asked you out or like put the moves on you?
Oh my gosh. So for me, it happens quite often, especially because of my work.
Okay, well, as a dancer.
Yeah, as a dancer, every single day when I go out, there's always somebody.
But is it because of the work? Like, or have you ever not been at work at like a bar or out or something like that?
Even
obviously in the clubs,
yeah,
that's going to happen.
Even when I'm not at work, I still get approached. I think it's all about personality, and you can read a woman pretty good by how she acts, and if she's chill, she's a sweet girl. We're pretty easy to approach, you know. Like I love talking to people. So
Have you ever been approached in like a bookstore or someplace that's like not the club?
Oh, I get approached in grocery stores, restaurants all the time.
Danny,
I do.
has your work
All the
work
time.
changed your view of men? Because I talked with Nara Ford about this, and like when I had her on the show, and I was like, when you were working at the Rhino, did it change your view about like monogamy? Was monogamy possible because of the way you would see men with wedding rings in there all the time? Did it ever did it change your view at all?
Honestly, no, it hasn't.
Okay.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
I deal with married men all the time, but I also realize when you're in the club and you're with these women, it's completely different than being in a relationship.
So you
Because it's
can
temporary.
understand the decontextualized like attraction men have for women as opposed to the relationship.
Absolutely,
You can
I
separate the two.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Okay, there's a lot of women can't do that. Like
Yeah,
they
a lot of
don't because like they don't understand. Like I think if women fully understand, I'm not saying that women can't have sex with no emotion. They can, but if you understood how easy
we
it was
can.
for men,
Yeah.
I mean, but let me ask you something. Could you when you were 22, or was that something you learned over time?
Maybe not 14.
At 22, I dealt with a narcissistic fucking husband. So yeah, I absolutely could after him.
Yeah, after
Because
him.
I
Okay.
had after him, yes, because I had the kind of like I don't give a shit about like men mentality. Like it was my turn to like kind of like be that one. I kind of like switched roles with my ex after the fact, just because like I was mentally like
You became the man you wanted to date.
I became the man I wanted to kill.
Okay, interesting.
It got real.
That's hot.
Yeah, honestly, like because I was like, well, he manipulated me so much that it was kind of like my little like internal revenge.
So all those guys you talk to now, you're manipulating them. I'm kidding. I'm messing
Not
with you.
anymore.
Not anymore. But you've done it before. Okay.
Oh yeah, I definitely had my period that I did that.
Okay.
But-
Go ahead, Rhiannon.
So, like, ooh, this is weird. I can hear myself. Anyway, so I've grown in the sex worker industry for a long time. My mom is a dancer and everything like that. I really like your perspective, very much so, because like it's so much different. But I feel like there's so much tying into everything that's going on now that's not actually being actualized, that I'm not sure that I can put it into words myself, because I'm not a scholar. But I think that like what everyone goes through is in a reflection of what they would like to actualize within their sexuality. So
Well, like your social circle is like a reflection of you. Who you hang out with is a
The
reflection
top
of
5
you.
people.
I think original courtship has actually fallen to the wayside.
There's no such
because-
thing as
Well,
courtship.
chivalry is
anymore.
not
No, but that's what I'm
dead.
saying.
You just have to
It
remind
has fallen to the
men.
It's never
wayside.
been, it hasn't been a thing since
No,
like
it
the mid
hasn't.
1700s.
I mean, every now and then you
You
will find
demand
it,
it and give
but
it.
I feel like it's fallen to the wayside with the accessibility through social media and the internet, because now guys will DM 50 girls in one day with either a dick pic or
But where's
hey,
the longevity
I
in
don't
that?
know.
Listen, if you couldn't send it to 50, they wouldn't give you the like mass text feature. What was it there for? God shouldn't have given us the mass. I'm just kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
mean, it works for him at some point. That's why he's continuously doing
That's
it.
actually true. Yeah, like when you see the thing with did you by the way, did you see Harvey Weinstein had his
Yeah, I got overturned.
Yeah, overturned.
Okay,
That's
obviously because
insanity.
Hollywood's fucking broke
That's
and they need a Miramax
insanity. Okay, anyway, all right.
My
So let's
opinion.
let's
I'm
keep it
gonna
going. I mean,
write it
to be fair, like same thing happened with Bill Cosby, right? All right, so let's.
I got one real.
Go ahead.
I got one
I've seen
quick
him
question
just
for
die.
Rihanna. So you're
Rhiannon.
Rhiannon. Okay. So you said your mom was a dancer.
She is.
She
She still is a dancer right
Oh,
now.
she's verified and everything. Look her up on
And you
Instagram.
do OnlyFans? You do what?
Yes.
You do. Now,
And she does
was
professional-
your mom influential in what you do now?
No.
No.
She's actually, she's more asexual.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, deadass, she's had sex with probably 8 people.
Oh.
But she,
Yeah,
like
and
seeing
4 of
her
them
as
are
a
dads.
dancer isn't like, oh, I want to do what mom does.
Oh, no, not in that way.
No?
Not in that way at all.
But it probably
it
changed
was
your
like,
perspective.
Have you ever seen that one, From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
When
the
she
vampire
comes
one.
out with the snake,
Yes.
right?
mean Salma
Imagine
Hayek?
if that's your mother.
Yeah, your mother's Selma Hayek.
Hell
Yeah.
No, my mother is feminine,
Mommy.
divine.
No, I know, but Selma Hayek.
Selma-
Never mind.
Selma-
Never mind. Never
Selma
mind.
Hayek.
Speaking of Harvey Weinstein.
No, I
Speaking of Harvey Weinstein.
But what I'm saying
I'll
is,
shower.
like, basically, it's like a lot of people don't get to have the blessing that I have.
Yeah.
Like, some people are
Her
sheltered
mom's a
and
blonde, by the
ashamed
way.
and weird and just
They
they can't talk about it. I'm very spoiled. Very, I know. I'm
okay.
very spoiled. In the fact of when I ask my mom a question, we can have a conversation about it. Will we like what we have to
They're
say?
like best
No, but
friends.
will we say it?
Do you have
Yes.
do you have sisters or brothers?
Absolutely.
Here we
I have
go.
I have 18 brothers and sisters on my
Jesus
birth
Christ,
father's
what?
side.
They were
18
busy.
brothers.
What?
Yeah,
They were busy.
my birth father's side. On my birth mother's
Okay.
side, I have 3,
Danny's face.
which is me and my 2 little brothers. On my stepfather's side, I have 7 other siblings, and they're a little
Now,
bit older.
are any of them in the same business or related
no.
business as you? You're the only one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I make
It makes
sure.
you have siblings
Oh,
in
yeah.
the music industry. And
All right.
So like every
Nice.
time that I made a video or did anything, I made sure to tell my family. That way, my little brothers didn't look up something and find my video.
Got it.
You know
Honesty
we're
is the
friends
best
then.
policy.
What do you want to do next?
Video.
Let's just do
go.
let's do
move
the
on.
next video. Eligible in New York. I want to see this.